Hello, people of the future, and welcome to Throwback Thursday, which is a new thing I'm doing for these few weeks. I was looking through some of my old videos on my computer, and I found some videos that relate to Multiverse in some way. That are Let's Make a Trading Card game. I wanted to start the Let's Make a Trading Card series a lot earlier. Almost a year earlier, in fact. But I ended up working on other projects in the meantime, and episode 3 was lost, so some other things came up and I never released them. And this is way back from the time that Multiverse wasn't called Multiverse. It wasn't even called Mothership yet. It was called Galaxy Conquest. And I decided to release these videos. One every Thursday. I'll try to put together as much of the third video as I can, because I don't have all the footage anymore for some reason. You can see how much the concept of the game has remained the same or has changed since then. Oh, and by the way, in this episode nothing really happens. I just explain what the game is about. In episode 2 I actually start creating cards, which will be more interesting. And without further ado, here you are. Sort of a Let's Make a Trading Card game episode 0.1. Hello people of the future, my name is Tok and welcome to the first episode of Making a Trading Card Game, where usually I would be developing or designing the game, but since you don't know what it's about, since it's the first video, I've written here the basic concept and rules of the game, and I hope you don't mind that I'll read it to you, because I'm not that good at explaining things. Alright? Okay. Galaxy Conquest, like most trading card games, is a turn-based two-player game, although I'm working on a 4-player version, a 6-player version, and possibly others. And also, if you're familiar with limited formats, there will be limited formats like booster drafts and so on, more on it later. In the game you are the ruler of your planet, and you fight your opponent for dominion over the galaxy, to conquer the galaxy. Now, Galaxy Conquest is quite different from any other trading card game you might have played, in that, first of all, there's a game board called the Galaxy, which you can explore and interact on. Most trading card games do have a game board, but it's usually divided into your side and your opponent's side, and there isn't much interaction, like the disposition of creatures or monsters or Pokemon or what have you doesn't matter really that much. Another big difference between Galaxy Conquest and other trading card games is that you play with 2 decks, sort of. One is called your arsenal, and that's the main deck. It has 40 or more cards, and you know, it's a deck of cards. If you've played trading card games, you know what a deck is. It's customized, and then you choose a card, you draw a card every turn, blah blah blah. And the other is your Galaxy deck, or exploration deck. Most of these names aren't final, but it's another deck, and it isn't used during the game. Before the game begins, you choose a planet from those 10 cards, put it in your starting tile. I think I'll show you. Yeah, here you can see the starting tiles, and mix all the other cards of the deck with your opponent cards. So you have 18 cards, mix them together and distribute them face down on the hexagons of the galaxy, on the places. So every time you play, you'll play on a different galaxy, which is cool. The planet that is in your starting place will be your home planet, and the goal is to capture your opponent's home planet and conquer the galaxy. One important thing in Galaxy Conquest, there is a resource system, which is, as far as I know, unlike any other system in place in other card games. There are 6 types of resources, each very defined and very unique, and each one corresponds to a color. So So labor and work power is red. Metals and minerals are orange. Wealth, money and gold is yellow. Food and living things like plants and stuff is green. Intellect and science is blue. Energy and electricity is purple. So you have 6 colors. There's also generic resource that has no color. Each type of resource corresponds to a certain strategy and philosophy. Some of you may know that in trading card games there are generally 3 main strategies: aggro, combo and control, which work in sort of a rock, paper, scissors fashion, where aggro beats combo, combo beats control, and control beats aggro, right? Aggro is the strategy where you try to win as soon as possible before your opponent has any chance to build up resource and defend themselves. Then there is control, where you try to manipulate your opponent and lock them down to make sure they can't do anything, so you have enough time to win in the late game. And there's combo, where you try to assemble a winning combination of 2 or more cards that will let you win the game, and you don't care about what your opponent is playing. Anyway, these are the basic strategies. There are 3 more, which are just combinations of these 3, like aggro combo, aggro control, whatever. There are 5 types of cards in Galaxy Conquest. I've talked about Galaxy cards. Those are exclusive to the Galaxy deck or Exploration deck. I still haven't figured out how to call this thing. And 4 go into your arsenal. Now, there are action cards that have an effect and are discarded as soon as the effect takes place. And unfortunately, you can only play cards during your turn. I wanted to add a feature where you could play cards during your opponent's turn, but it messed up the gameplay, and it made slowed down the game, and made everything just too complex. So let's just keep it nice and streamlined for now. If there's need for instant cards or cards like super fast actions that you can use in different situations on your opponent's turn, then maybe I'll do that. But for now, no. Then there are buildings, which are objects, which means that they stay on the galaxy once they're played, unlike actions which just have an effect and are discarded. They have 1 stat, it's health. Anything with a health stat or life stat can be attacked and destroyed. Then there are creatures, which also are objects, and they have 2 stats: health or life and power. All cards with power can attack. When something attacks, it deals damage equal to its power stat to whatever it's attacking. Creatures can survive only on planets, but can go inside buildings and inside ships and survive outside of planets. Ships or vessels have 3 stats: health, power and speed. All cards with speed can move. The amount of places they can move in 1 turn is determined by their speed stat. Ships can't move or attack unless they have a creature inside them. When a creature is inside a creature or a ship, it cannot attack or be attacked. So these are just some rules I'm throwing out there. Okay, so it looks like we've got all the cards covered. Oh yeah, to play a card you have to have all the resources in the same place. And it enters the galaxy on that place. You can't mix and match resources and build something, you know, it doesn't work like that. Okay, parts of the turn. There are 4 main phases in the turn: the beginning phase, the main phase, the battle phase, and the end phase or ending phase. The beginning phase has 2 main steps, one where the planets produce your resource, and the other when you draw a card from your arsenal. You start with 6 cards. in your hand, and you draw on it every turn at this moment in your turn. Then there's the main phase where you can play cards, you can move stuff, you can declare an attack, which triggers the battle phase. You can have as many battle phases as you want during the course of your turn, but each card can attack only once or defend only once during the same turn. So you choose what to attack with. It can be one card, it can be multiple, and you choose your targets, what to attack. And then your opponent decides if he or she wants to defend himself or herself, and then the damage is dealt simultaneously. After a battle phase ends, you resume your main phase, and there's the ending phase where nothing happens unless something says something needs to happen at the end of your turn. Game zones. There's the Galaxy, which is a common game zone. There are the two arsenals. There are the two junkyards or scrap piles or discard piles, I don't know what to call them. There's the Lost Zone, where cards go if they go outside the boundaries of the galaxy, or just a card says that the card is lost. Then there's what else? I think that's it. That's it for now. There was the Codex, but I've removed that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, other stuff. When you move something to an unexplored space, which by the way means with the Galaxy card still face down on it, because remember at the beginning of the game you put face down Galaxy cards. You explore it by turning the Galaxy card on it right side up, and now you see what's in that place in the Galaxy. If you have a card on a place, on an explored place, it is under your control. Your opponent can gain control, however, of a place if he or she destroys all of your cards on it and puts one of his or her cards on it. If a place has no cards on it, it is in nobody's control, except for the home planets, which are under your control even if you have no cards. If a player runs out of cards in his or her deck and needs to draw one card or more, they lose. If you have 10 or more places under your control, you win the game. And some other minor stuff, but basically these are the main rules of the game. I wanted to make a game that was focused on exploration and not merely just violence and constant fighting. So in Galaxy Conquest you can build stuff, you can gather resource and explore the galaxy and do all sorts of stuff other than just, oh, my monster attacks your monster and my monster is bigger than your monster, so your monster is dead. Plus, every time you play, the game will be slightly different because the game board will change from game to game. You have some control over what will be in the galaxy, of course, because half of the cards, half of the places, you'll know in advance what they are. And I really hope I'll be able to make this thing. So enough explanation. Next time I'll be making some cards. See ya.